Hello. Hold on. I have to turn the TV down. Can you turn that down now, please? Hi. Sorry about that. The cats not getting along. It's okay. They're brother and sister. They fight sometimes. So hello, I'm Miss Carla. And today we're going to finish reading Love, Sugar, Magic, A Dash of Trouble by Anna Mariano. And as I usually mention, this is one of the nominees for 2020 for the Rhode Island Latino Books Month Award for grades 3 through 5. And I have to mention that the Latino Books Month is a project of Rhode Island Latino Arts, and we would like to thank the Rhode Island State Council on the Arts, the Providence Department of Art, Culture, and Tourism, and the Rhode Island Foundation for their support to RILA and the arts community. All right, I also have something to show you, but I think I'll wait until we finish the book to show you what I made. All right, we are almost at the end, folks. We are on chapter 29, and it's called Bruja. The next hour felt like eating a slice of cake on a too full stomach. Watching Brent smile into the phone, calling Caroline to share the good news, seeing Mrs. Bayman run from her car to hug her son without even noticing the leftover streaks of molasses rubbing off onto her clothes. The triumph of the moment was rich on Leo's tongue. But behind her, Mama fumed like a stomachache. They didn't make any particular plan. Brent told his mom that he had snuck out and spent the day in the park, and that he had walked to Leo's house because it was closer than home. Leo could see 100 holes in that story, starting with the question of why Brent would sneak out in his pajamas with no shoes. But luckily, Mrs. Bayman was too relieved and happy and angry to ask any more questions. Mama didn't talk much, but she did offer hot chocolate and ginger snaps to the Baymans. Just a second. Oliver, stop it. Oh, he's so excited for some reason. That's my cat, Oliver. Let's see. Ginger snaps, she gave them to the Baymans. Brent, for maybe the first time ever, declined the cookies. Once Brent and his mom disappeared down the dark street, the house was too quiet. Leo shifted from one foot to the other, waiting for someone to say something. Instead, Daddy and Mama moved slowly toward the kitchen, and Leo and her sisters trailed anxiously after them, settling into seats around the table without a word. Usually, Mama's anger came out through her mouth. When she got annoyed or disappointed, she might click her tongue, sigh, lecture, or just say Leo's name in that defeated tone of voice that all moms seem to practice. When she really lost her temper, like when Marisol snuck out of the house after being grounded, Mama could yell louder and faster than anyone, never seeming to stop for breath. But now, when Leo had broken 100 rules, had sneaked and lied and stolen and almost gotten herself arrested, Mama was silent. Leo's stomach twisted in knots. Leo. Daddy sat at the head of the table, glancing every few seconds toward Mama. Did you steal ingredients from the bakery? Yes. Leo's voice came out as a whisper. Did you steal ingredients to practice magic spells that you shouldn't know anything about? Yes. Around the kitchen table, Isabel picked away invisible bits of imperfection from her cuticles, and Marisol used her thumbnail to press crescent moon-shaped scratches into the wooden tabletop. Alma and Belen, still exhausted from summoning Abuela, sipped mugs of hot chocolate and twitched their eyebrows at each other wearily. But no one's silence was louder or more unsettling than Mamma's. And then you cast a spell you knew nothing about, a spell you knew you shouldn't be messing with, on that boy from your class? Daddy sighed. I'm just trying to understand. Why, Leo? Leo started. It was my fault, Isabel interrupted. I was the one who told her about magic. I showed her spells. We encouraged her, Alma added. We knew she was making cookies for Brent, and we asked her to report back to us. We basically told her to do it. Belen nodded and added, We would have told her anyway if Isabel hadn't. It's not fair that everyone else knew and she didn't. I didn't stop her when I knew she was experimenting, Marisol fessed up. I told her to cut it out, but I didn't do anything. It's kind of an unfair rule, making everyone wait until they're 15. We should get rid of that. Leo would make a better magic student than me anyway. Mamma stood up, her chair scraping against the linoleum floor, silencing the flood of defense. Enough, she said. Leo, go get everything you stole. Bring it out to the car. You need to return the ingredients to the bakery, and we need to have a talk. Marisol and Isabel started to stand up too, but Mamma stopped them with a look. Alone. They drove in Mamma's minivan down the mostly empty streets of Rose Hill. Leo sat in the front seat with her backpack on her lap, packed full of the spell ingredients and the recipe book. The car stayed quiet, and the quiet was suffocating. Car rides with Daddy might include long stretches of silence, but Mamma usually chatted away. When Leo peeked sideways, her mother's face was smooth and flat, and Leo couldn't tell what thoughts hid behind it. But she could guess. Irresponsible, Mamma was probably thinking. Reckless and sneaky and disrespectful. Leo shrank into her seat. A million years later, they pulled up to the bakery. Leo climbed out of the car, backpack over her shoulders, and followed Mamma through the back door and into the bakery kitchen. Everything was dark and cold and quiet. Mamma flipped the office light and nodded for Leo to sit in Daddy's chair. Leo squinted at the clock on the wall. She'd never mastered reading the non-digital kind, and worked out that it was already 10:25, way past the time Mamma went to bed, since she would have to be back here at 4:30 in the morning to open the shop. The realization that her mischief would keep Mamma from sleep was the very last bit of guilt Leo could handle. Tears prickled the back of her throat and started to leak into her eyes. She sniffed. What's wrong? Mamma sat in her own chair across from Leo. Hito, what's the matter? It's late, Leo whispered, since it would come out like sobs if she used her voice. Her chin wobbled and her nose scrunched and her eyes filled slowly with water, but she refused to cry. Leo, Mamma said. Leo looked up and felt one uncooperative drop spill over the edge of her eyelash. Sweetie, what were you thinking? At first, Leo thought this was the beginning of Mamma's lecture, but after another long silence, she realized that she really wanted an answer. I was trying to fix things. Leo brushed away the tear, even though she was sure Mamma had already seen it. She wanted to explain herself without tears. I was trying to fix the shrinking that happened because I was trying to fix the love spell that happened because I was trying to fix things for Caroline. Mamma looked confused, but she didn't ask for more explanation. And Leo was tired of telling the story over and over anyway. I found out that we have magic, and what's the point of having magic if you can't use it to fix things? Mamma didn't give an answer. Do you have everything you stole? She pointed to Leo's backpack under the chair. Take it all out, please. I didn't steal it all on purpose. I was just trying to get the spider webs, but it all came off the shelf together. Leo pulled out the strange items and spread them across the floor. There it is. Mamma reached for the object wrapped in dark silk. Leo had cut a corner off the silk, but the bundle remained intact. This is important, Hita. You shouldn't have taken it. You shouldn't have taken anything without permission, especially magic things. I know, Leo sighed. I'm sorry. I hope you are, because we're not going to keep any more secrets from each other, either of us. Agreed? Leo blinked. It almost sounded like Mama felt bad too. Agreed, she said. Mama nodded and started unwinding the silk. I'm upset that you didn't come to me, Leo, when you first had questions about magic. I'm upset that you relied on stolen books and guesses even when the first spell went wrong, and I'm so sad that when you got into real trouble, you tried to hide it from me. Leo sank into the cushion of Daddy's chair, tapping her fingers and trying not to cry more. She had known all along that she was being bad and sneaky, but she kept doing it anyway, which was the worst kind of bad and sneaky. But mostly, I'm upset because I know where you learned to be so secretive. I'm sorry for keeping things from you. Mama pulled away the last layer of silk and exposed a small chunk of chalky white rock about the size of a jagged marshmallow. Now hold out your hand. I want to test something. Leo held out her hand automatically, stunned by Mama's apology. Without ever touching the rock herself, Mama lifted the silk and tilted it into Leo's palm. The overhead lights flicked off, their glow replaced by a bright white glow coming out of Leo's hand. The rock hummed, shooting out light in flickering bursts. What is it? That crystal belonged to your great-great-grandmother. It measures the strength of a person's magic, and that light means you have a lot more magic than most 15-year-olds when they begin their training. Leo fought the urge to move the stone so she could itch her palm. Why? Well, Mama shook her head slowly. I don't really know, Hita. It might be because of all the illicit practicing you've been up to. It might be because you're mature for your age, or because your Mama is such a powerful and talented bruja that she rubbed off on you. Mama winked. Or it might be because, ever since you were born, you've always been determined to keep up with your sisters, no matter what. Leo smiled at the light in her palm. Its glow reminded her of a candle, flickering slightly and giving off wisps of the cinnamon magic smell. So, if I have all this magic, what do I do with it? What? She thought about Isabel's and Marisol's argument, about Abuela's advice. What does it mean to be a witch? A bruja, Mama corrected. A witch can be anyone. A bruja is us. And what does it mean to be a bruja? Mama smiled. That's like asking what it means to be a Texan, or a girl, or curly-haired. It doesn't mean anything by itself. It's part of you. Then you decide what it means. Leo nodded, even though she didn't quite understand. So what do I do now? You have to be trained as soon as possible. I'll start scheduling you for shifts here at the bakery like your sisters, so you can have lessons. That includes lessons on how to run the cash register, help with inventory, boring stuff like that, as well as the spells, okay? If you're here, you have to carry your weight. Leo nodded, but something deep in her stomach flickered in time with the glowing crystal. Something felt not right about this. Too easy. That's it? She demanded. What's it? I get to take magic lessons and I'm not in any trouble at all? Mama hesitated. I'm not happy about what you did, Leo, and I really wish you had trusted me enough to talk to me. But, well, I understand, sort of. You're growing up, figuring things out. When I was your age, Mama, I am not a little kid, Leo groaned. If Marisol or Isabel stole things from the bakery, you would yell at them or ground them. Leo dropped the crystal into its silk wrapping and blinked as the office light came back on. Do you want me to ground you? Mama asked with something that looked suspiciously like a smile hidden behind one hand. Yes, Leo snapped. I shrank Brent Bayman. Okay. Mama held up her hands in surrender. For how long? Leo thought about it. How long would you ground Marisol if she did something like this? Probably a week. Do you want to be grounded for a week? 1 week? Alma and Belen were grounded for 1 week just for skipping school one day with no magic. 2 weeks? Leo paused. 2 weeks was a long time to go without visiting Caroline's house or watching TV. 2 weeks is fine, I guess. All right, Leonora Elena Logroño, you are hereby grounded for 2 weeks for sneaking and borrowing and spellcasting, all without permission. I'm very disappointed in you. Leo frowned at Mama. You don't sound very disappointed. I am. I really am. I'm just distracted by how proud I am that you cast a full reversal spell all by yourself. Leo beamed. Mama, you're supposed to be mad about that. Oh, I'm furious. And if you ever try to keep such a big secret again, you'll be sorry. I'll give you dinner that makes all your hair fall out the day before class pictures. Leo laughed, and Mama touched her cheek. I'm serious, Hita. Now that you know about magic, you're not safe from any pranks. You've opened the door for some very creative parenting. Leo chuckled, and it felt good to let her stomach unwind itself with a loud belly laugh. No more disasters. No more secrets. Mama? How soon can I start learning new spells? You'll have to be patient, because we need to initiate you. I'll have to ask Paloma to wash the robes. Mama? Yes, Leo. I love you. I love you too, Amorcita. Mama stood up, checked the clock, and yawned. Now help me put away these stolen goods, and let's see if we can get home before midnight. Chapter 30. Bruja Cocinera. It wasn't Friday, but since Thanksgiving break started on Wednesday, the snack club had planned for their meeting to take place during this lunchtime. Leo passed around a plastic container of oatmeal cranberry cookies that Isabel and Mama had helped her make the night before. Maria Villarreal offered blob-shaped cookies, sugar cookies slathered with super sweet pink frosting. The entire 6th grade class crowded around the table to taste the cookies, and plenty of 7th and 8th graders lingered nearby in case of leftovers. Mai, who turned out to be just the organizer the club needed, reminded Tricia and Emily Eccles that they were due to bring something delicious on the Friday after break. Leo looked around the cafeteria table, grinning hugely, amazed that the club had become a success so quickly. She caught Caroline's eye across the table and made a cross-eyed monster face. Caroline, who was busy stealing Brent's cookies whenever he turned his head, stuck out her bright pink tongue and giggled. Mama only let Leo put a very tiny spell on the oatmeal cookies, a good luck charm so simple that it hardly felt like real magic at all. But Leo grinned as she watched her friends and classmates eat, glad that the cookies carried a charm. She wanted everyone to have a happy, lucky holiday. Leo, your club co-founder is behaving very unprofessionally, Brent complained, reaching for another oatmeal cookie after Caroline passed his down to a waiting 8th grader. Some of us aren't getting a chance to snack at this snack club. Oh, hush, she's going to give you all the leftovers at my house anyway, Caroline said. You're still coming over, Leo, right? My dad needs to ask you questions about the pumpkin pie we're supposed to bring to my grandma's. Yep. Officially ungrounded now, Leo couldn't wait to spend the crisp afternoon on Caroline's trampoline. But I have to leave by 5. I have that thing at the bakery. What thing? Brent asked. Oh, right. Caroline winked exaggeratedly. The thing. What thing? What thing? Brent looked nervous. Leo, it had better not be the kind of thing I think it is. I thought you weren't going to do that kind of thing anymore. Actually, Leo said with a smile, today is my official initiation ceremony into the family business. After today, I'll really start learning the thing. You mean? Brent's groan was muffled by a mouthful of cookie. That's right. Leo licked a dollop of pink frosting off her finger and smiled at the sweetness. I'm just getting started. Cookie cutters! Leo cried. Mama, where do we keep the cookie cutters? The Saturday morning sun peeked through the bakery windows, and Leo's time ticked away. Only 1 hour until the bakery opened. I'll get it, Leo. Isabel dug through one of the cabinets while balancing a tray of unbaked bolillos. Marisol and Mama worked in the front of the bakery, decorating the front windows with Christmas wreaths and colorful lanterns and paper stars. Tia Paloma and Isabel filled and emptied the big ovens in the back of the bakery. Alma and Belen quibbled over the perfect arrangement of goods in the display cases. In her own corner of counter space, Leo separated a fistful of her dough and rolled it out flat on the floured surface. She liked the weight of the dough in her hands and the smell of flour and ginger and molasses. Leo had developed a fondness for molasses. The cookie cutter was solid and silvery and almost as big as Leo's hand, and she pressed it into the rolled dough and lined the shapes on her waiting tray until it was full. A dozen perfect puerquitos ready for baking. How do they look, Mama? Mama peeked over the swinging blue doors to check on the back of the bakery. Perfect. Leo hoped her answer was true. She still wondered if she had added just a little bit too much flour, or if she had grated the hard cone of piloncillo sugar fine enough. She checked her recipe for the 1,000th time, squinting at the familiar cursive on the faded index card. Mama joined Leo at her workstation and kissed the top of her head. Good work. You're not sleepy, Hita? Even though she had woken up at 4, Leo didn't feel at all sleepy. Excitement buzzed through her. For the first time, Mama's bakery staff schedule included Leo's name. She's doing a lot better than I did on my first day. Marisol leaned against the swinging doors and yawned. Or on any day. In fact, since she's doing such a great job, I nominate Leo to take all my shifts from now on. Do you want me to pop those in the oven? Isabel reached for Leo's tray. No, wait. Leo spread her arms to protect her cookies. Mama hurried away to settle Alma and Belen, trailed by sleepy Marisol. Leo leaned over the tray and smelled the pigs. She kept her eyes shut and her head focused until the spicy scent tickled her nose. Then she added the finishing touches, brushed beaten egg over the tops of the cookies, and slipped the tray into the oven before anyone could see. Have you finished memorizing the table of herbal ingredients? Tia Paloma asked after Leo added her next 2 trays of puerquitos to the oven line. I can give you a quick quiz. No boring stuff on her first day. Marisol appeared behind Leo and tweaked her carefully slicked back ponytail. Come on, Leo, I need help setting up the nativity. Leo didn't think her magic lessons were boring, but she wanted to avoid a quiz. Ginger and cinnamon both amplified magic, Leo remembered, but was it heather or lemon verbena that strengthened protection spells? Tia Paloma shrugged and winked, and Leo let Marisol drag her to the front window where she unpacked the nativity figures for 11.5 minutes until the ding of a timer signaled that her tray was done. I'll get them. Leo leaped to her feet and almost knocked the angel off the stable roof. Don't worry, Hita. I've got it, Mama called. They smell wonderful. Leo dashed into the swinging doorway just in time to see Mama set the tray on the counter and lean over it with a smile. These look perfect, Leo, really. Oh, but these ones in the back, what do they have? Oh, with several tiny pops, the 6 winged cookies shot off the tray and sailed over Mama's head. 2 invaded the front window, making Marisol yelp and shoo them away. 2 knocked against Alma and Belen's display case, trying to reach the pan dulce inside. 1 settled happily on top of the miniature Christmas tree in the corner. And 1, the cookie from the very back of the pan, whose thin back leg had baked a crispier dark brown than the rest of its body, hovered around Leo's head, crumbs falling into her ponytail. While Mama chased the naughty cookies and Tia Paloma laughed, Leo held out her palm for the burned puerquito. Hello, Bonita, Leo whispered. Welcome to the bakery. The cookie spiraled into the air, raining happy cookie crumbles. Leo bounced with joy at the completed spell, the morning sun, her bustling family, and the sweetness that tied them all together. Leo's lucky pigs didn't actually fly off the shelves, but they sold so quickly that Leo stayed busy baking all day long. That is the end of this book. And at the very back of the book, there is a section called Leonora Logroño's Lucky Recipe Book, Love Sugar Magic. And in here, there are recipes for the pigs. And what else? Pan de Muerto Mensajero, the bread of the dead for sending messages. Abuelitos Alegrías. I don't remember those from the story, but they must have been mentioned. And then that's the end. Now, last weekend, I used the recipe in the back of the book for Pan de Muerto to attempt to make my own, because I do like to bake bread. And so I brought it in here so you can see it. We've already eaten a good amount of the bread. So you see this loaf is half gone, and the recipe made 2 loaves. So we've already eaten 3/4 of this bread. And I did put the crossed, it's supposed to be bones at the top, made out of the dough, but I cut those off at the beginning and ate them because they were so cute. But my mom and dad and myself, we have all been eating this bread, and it's delicious. It's a little bit sweeter than regular bread because it has sugar, and it has an herb in it called fennel, which tastes kind of like licorice, but it's really light, so it doesn't taste like eating licorice. It just makes it a little bit spicy. And anyway, I wanted to show you that. So that is my pan de muerto. I took some pictures of it before I cut it up, so I'll post those. I'll try to post those in the comments. I don't know if you can post pictures or not. If not, I'll put them on our Facebook page. And now I want to show you what we're going to start reading tomorrow. It's another book nominee in this grade level, 3 through 5, and it's called Read-Aloud, and it's by Angela Cervantes. And look, it's got a dog in the cover. So I believe it's about a girl named Letty who works at an animal shelter. So it should be fun. I hope you all enjoyed Love, Sugar, Magic, A Dash of Trouble. There is a sequel to this book. It is called Love, Sugar, Magic, A Sprinkle of Spirits. I don't have that one, so we can't read it right now. And it just came out this year. But I will see if we can get it in eZone and read it for as a downloadable ebook or audiobook. If so, I will add a comment that lets you know about that. And that is that. We finished the first full chapter book for this grade level. And once we finish Read-Aloud, we just have to read one more. And everybody, all the kids watching, can vote on the website for the Rhode Island Latino Books Month Award. Thanks for listening. I'll see you all tomorrow. Bye-bye.